get so spicy in here?
Well, I'm telling you, it gets hot. No airflow.
Hey, we're out here doing the Lord's work. We're out here talking motorcycles, sweating in some fab shops, and yeah, dude, this thing it's the bar keeps getting raised in FXR choppers, I think.
I don't know who's raising them, but I'm trying.
Well, you know, before we get too far into talking about the bike itself, like what, you know, your background in building motorcycles, like I know we talked about that a long time ago, maybe the first podcast that we did together, which if I remember correctly was like in a small little, somewhere weird, I feel like, because it was a long time ago before I had a studio.
Ago. It was at the apartment that you were renting downtown, or not downtown,
yeah,
but
that's
like
right.
South Dallas.
Yep.
South Dallas. It was like that. It was a cool little apartment.
And so we were in like the conference room.
Yeah. I was there. Was that?
God damn.
Yeah.
It's been doing
years
long.
ago.
Yeah. Yep. But, you know, like you're kind of from the Chopper Dogs, like arena world. And for the people out there that might be new to listening to these podcasts and might not have heard of that like website, that forum, that brought a lot of you guys together across the country, but it also, I feel like it helped you all hone your skills.
Sure.
So, you know,
I mean, all those guys in the Chopper Dogs that were, I mean, there was a lot of guys that didn't build or do anything in that arena. Mm-hmm. And then when the Chopper Dogs started, that's when they all started like learning how to weld or learning how to fab and learning how, you know, picking up an English wheel. And I mean, it was all based on that era of, you know,
custom
people don't like to hear it, but I mean, Jesse kind of kicked off a certain era of motorcycles that we're still seeing. And, you know, I mean, it kind of made the whole, it's cool to weld or cool to make this. And, and the circle of guys just, I mean, like-minded guys that knew how to do the stuff started getting on the page and started teaching other people. And I mean, a lot of us have still, I mean, it's been 25 years, 26 years. There's a lot of us that are still friends, and a lot of guys still in the motorcycle game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Brad Barnes, Speed Dealer, yourself, Jason Hallman with his shop is Cycle Stop, and countless others. And I think that like those of you that were, you know, in these forums back then, honing your skills. I mean, I think now a lot of you guys have ownership in the custom motorcycle industry to some degree or another, you know, like these guys, like Brad Barnes, you know, Booster Brad,
yeah,
Speed
Dealer. Those guys got a big hold on it. I mean, they're doing well. Like, I mean, you know, there's a lot of times I look back and wish I would have continued on the path of staying in that industry part of it, and maybe would have done something different. But having kids it changed the direction I wanted to go. And
man, there's a lot of factors that got to come to the table so that becomes a reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're dabbling, not dabbling, but if you're like doing motorcycles, but kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, then you always see an escape.
Sure.
You know, I think. And then when you don't feel like there's another option, you just got to like roll with you got to find a way to stay afloat and hit those waves of highs and lows. You know what I mean?
I was full-time in the motorcycle business, opened my first full-time shop. I got in at 99, but opened my first full-time shop in like 03. Mm-hmm. And then in 08, when things got the gold rush or the chopper crash, what I call it, the economy went to shit, and I got scared and had a young kid that was willing to buy me out, which is not the worst decision I've made in life, but one of the not very smart decisions that I made. I should have just hung on and stuck it out. But I mean, I am where I'm at, and that's just how it went. So.
I mean, shit, since 08, I mean, we've had a few different waves of bike eras, and it's hard to believe because when I think about 2015 and riding big wheels, I don't feel like it was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't feel like it, because that's when, matter of fact, that's the first time I met you was 2015 at Sturgis at the Knuckle Saloon. You were with, you had your big wheel bagger, and you were with Daryl.
Yeah.
And he had the Panic King.
Yep.
That's still a cool ass big wheel
That
bagger.
is the day that I should have never got away with, dude. I've never been so drunk in Sturgis riding around. Nowadays, just seeing how, you know, I was just oblivious to like.
I couldn't believe it. I was watching. I was like, dude, I don't even know how this guy's going to make it.
We were at the Knuckle, trashed, jumped on the bikes, Daryl and I both, and I might be incriminating him in this, so I'm sorry, Daryl, but we haul-assed the Spearfish to go to a urban bagger, American bagger party.
I was with y'all. I went to the party with y'all, and then y'all left me.
And so we're there, And mind you, at the time, I'm staying in Hill City. That's where my place is.
Oh, wow.
And I'm on the highway, one eyeing it from Spearfish, and I got to go all the way to Rapid City and then cut south another 30-something miles to Hill City. So, like I said, I should have not gotten away with that. And that was the last time I ever really drunk anywhere in Sturgis, and actually was on my bike. Since then, I've always...
See, and if I ride anywhere, I'll have maybe 1 drink, 2 drinks max.
Yeah.
I've been pulled over too many times not drinking that I know as soon as I drink, I'll get pulled over.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I get pulled over all the time out there. And luckily, I've only gotten 1 ticket, but I don't know how the fuck I got away with riding the way I was riding, as belligerently drunk as I was, and I survived both, physically and, financially by not getting pulled over by the cops.
Yeah, sure.
So, but yeah, that's another time, right?
Right.
I remember the first time, like, I feel like you, like, I really have to attribute a lot of your first FXR, the first iteration of the orange FXR, as kind of like my gateway drug into FXRs, mainly because you customized it in a way that was very, in a way that I was already kind of used to. Not saying that you big wheel baggered an FXR, but like in my world of big wheel baggers, we were custom painting, and all the things that we would do on those bikes is kind of what you did on the FXR, minus the huge wheel. Just aesthetically, it was, you know what I mean?
Sure. Well, and that was my goal. 2015, I was at the FXR show. I know Brad Barnes had won like People's Choice, or I think Frankie Vidal won something. And in my head, I was like, I want to build one of these. So I had a couple different versions that I went through trying to get it right. And then I was like, I want to go more over the top with it, because everybody was using a lot of black. Everything was black. And I was like, I want to do something different. I wanted to mix it up, like the orange wheels. Everybody was like, don't do orange wheels. Don't do the orange wheels. I'm like, why not? And they're like, nobody does orange wheels. I'm like, oh, then I'm going to do them.
That's the point, yeah.
So, I mean, and I think that FXR, I mean, I ended up changing it after that. But I think that FXR, not that I opened any doors or changed the direction but I think that FXR set maybe not a trend, or it didn't raise the bar maybe. I mean, I hate to even say that.
I think it opened the door.
But I think you're right. I think it did open the door for a little more, hey, we can do a little more with FXRs than what we're doing. So.
And I think about that a lot, because, Corey at Main Drive and I talk about this a lot, like on more of the maybe philosophical level of the ever-flowing trends of motorcycles and how things kind of go. And, we both have been watching the growth and the evolution of not just the M8 FXR, but also the Chopper FXR, which when I did mine, obviously I spent the entire time doing it paying homage to the ones that inspired me.
Sure.
Scott, who had the Frisco FXR, and then, Al Emerson, that was currently building, still to this day, one of my favorite ones ever exists. And so what I think that my FXR did was the same thing that yours did for guys like me early on, is it opened the doors and people's minds to it. Took something that was kind of underground and put enough of the right stuff on it to make it more popular. Kind of like the Slipknot of like metal music or something,
sure,
you know what
sure.
I mean? So it's kind of like, that's what I feel like we did. Not that we invented or did anything crazy like that. I just feel like we made something that was kind of underground a little bit more palatable for someone that doesn't have the deeper roots and connections to the motorcycle industry.
Yeah. And I mean, I think like there's been a lot of hate on FXR choppers, and I think they think FXR and chopper don't go together, but then you can go back to bagger and performance bagger. Like, nobody thought performance bagger was going to be a big thing, and now you got Bagger Racing League, and those guys are running like
stupid
GP Moto fast on modified baggers. But
yeah.
I think the FXR chopper, I'm glad to see it coming alive, and I think you're right. I think your bike opened the door for that. Scott Nine's bike, I mean, that bike's been around for
since 2012,
a long time. And matter of fact, he helped with he made the tank for this bike, just because I'm paying a little homage to that bike, because that's the era of chopper I grew up in, was the West Coast chopper era of choppers. I mean, everybody kind of had their following, and this particular bike, I mean, I wanted a longer front end, and I wanted some rake, and I had a lot of people say, don't put rake in it, keep it stock, don't stretch it, don't do this, don't do that. And I kept changing it and, ended up with a plan. And I don't know if you could call it a performance chopper but you can definitely call it an FXR chopper. If I mean, the diehard chopper guys, it's not a rigid frame. So, but I don't give a fuck about any of that. I mean, like, when they asked me if I, wanted to build something, and the more I thought about it, and I was like, I'm going to build what I want to build. If everybody likes it, great. If they don't, great. That's kind of been the philosophy I followed for a lot of years. So I just stuck to it. So
I feel like that's one of the main things that I'm realizing in myself is that I have to do the bikes that I'm actually feeling like I'm interested in. Like, you know what I mean? Because then it just becomes a job. Like, I'm just building this bike that I really don't want to, but it's the cool thing to do, or whatever the case may be. And I've had so many FXRs since my first one in 2017 where I had like an idea, but I never got excited to do it. And then the bike would turn into a frame and then part it out, or, I just sell it as is or something like that. And so I've gotten to a point where when I recognize that feeling of excitement, that I try to capitalize and jump on it before it's, fleeting or gone or whatever.
Well, on the last podcast you and I did was in 23.
Yeah.
And I talked about on your podcast about my dad and him, my basically getting burnt out is what I talked about. And I was at a stage in my life that I was burned out. I was trying to find something to get excited about, and I was doing the whiskey thing, and I was kind of sort of getting back into the motorcycle stuff and fab stuff. And then February of 24, I end up in the hospital, go through that whole deal. And then I come out of that by the grace of God, really. I mean, I'm lucky to be here. And then I get healed up. And about the time I get healed up, I get approached about Born Free. And that relit the fire for me. Like I attribute it to God's having perfect timing for me. I mean, like, I look back and I'm like, I needed something to give me a spark. And I got asked to do it. I mean, it was like the timing, it couldn't have been more perfect. Like, scared the shit out of me because I didn't know if I was prepared. And it ain't done yet. So we'll see. I mean,
there's always that fear.
But it did light the fire. Like, I'm working on some parts, I got a couple little things I'm working on trying to bring to market, and I'm trying to get back more heavy into the motorcycle industry and the fab side of it. So I feel like I'm going to be 52 in about 20 days. So I feel like maybe going through what I went through in 24 is what's the right way to put it? It put my life in perspective as far as I'm not too old to still do some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not the most talented guy, but I'm talented enough I can still do some cool stuff. So I don't want it to go to waste.
Yeah.
So, and then I want my kids to see, like, hey, I don't want them to watch me just burn out and just stay at home and be dad.
Yeah.
And just mow the yard. Like, so this hit at the perfect time. Like, I'm excited about it.
I think it's a balance of seizing an opportunity, but also like, and I've always said this, self-motivating yourself to do things when there's no like deadline. Or I think that the idea of being a Born Free invited builder of any kind of capacity, or an invited anything to any show, it's not so much I'm a this. It's more like, man, now someone has tasked me to do something, and I feel like I have to hold up my end of the bargain. So there's a lot of accountability that comes into that opportunity through certain people. And of course, there's certain people that get these opportunities all the time and they squander them. They don't do shit with it, right? Recognizing it as an opportunity, not just like what it might become, but understanding what it's going to do to you, the version of you that's going to be created during that time, customizing, building, putting your mind to use to figure out, I don't like the way this fender is, I'm going to modify it. As much work as all that becomes, it's exhilarating. No,
you're right, 100%. Like, I needed the pressure. Like, I needed that deadline. I needed, like, and for like Born Free Texas, like, it was a huge thing for me. I've never been invited to any type of build a bike for this or show or whatever. So, I mean, I was pumped. Like, and I don't want to let those guys down. I don't want to let you down. I don't want to let myself down, And so, I'm building as good a bike as I can build for it. But without the deadline, I think I would have probably just slowed down and maybe got it finished, maybe not. But with the deadline, it's gonna make me finish it. So.
Yeah, without a deadline, sometimes you can. I mean, those that energy or that drive, it kind of goes up and down, right? One day it's like sometimes the most energetic you're about is when you're laying in bed at 2 a.m. looking at the ceiling, going, "That's all I want to do is be at the shop right now."
Dude,
you know,
it has been that way. Like I've had so many nights of like laying in bed, and then at 3 o'clock, I'm like, jump up, shower, and then come here and work on it because I can't sleep because I'm thinking about what I need to do or what needs to be changed, or I come up with an idea, and if I don't write it down or go fix it right then, I may not do it. So I mean, and then there's been days I want to fucking light that motherfucker on fire, like I want to knock it off the lift and burn it to the ground. But
well, to go back to your point about getting burnt out about this, I'll give you a little bit of my perspective of the back end of building my gold bike. The weirdest thing about it is that, like, if you're building it for yourself, it's kind of like, you know, you're having all those hard conversations, deciding it. There's nobody else really to lay blame on. You chose that color, you chose that finish, you chose all the things on the bike, right? So there's a lot of, like, I don't know if the word's anxiety into that aspect of it, but there's like a built up, like, I have no out here. It's all my responsibility, right? If it's not cool. But to me, like, what happened on the back end of mine is that the idea of, like, maybe opening the doors to start building bikes for people, I wanted to entertain that. And every time I just even like notion that, when I would get a conversation about it, I'm like, oh, that's how you get burnt out. Because now someone wants you to build a bike, but their version of build a bike is, hey, I already ordered all the parts for this bike. I want this, and this. And now you're just doing the work. You're not even like, you have no creativity. You have no say.
Yeah, and I have zero interest in that whatsoever.
And that's what a lot of bike building is these days. It's hard. I mean, I have 3 individual people right now that are kind of talking to me about building a bike. But as these conversations kind of keep going, I'm realizing all I'm doing is painting it. And then there's going to be a box of parts that show up that I got to throw as bars on, exhaust, and some other shit. And at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, I'm excited to paint it because that's the creative part of it. But, like, to me, building a bike is, you're going to cut modern bike or old bike, doesn't matter. You're going to come and we're going to sit across this table before you spend any money. And we're going to kind of plan out the direction of this bike. And that's a fun fucking process.
It is a fun process.
It's way funner. I try to tell people it's way more fun than you ordering a fucking pipe while you're taking a shit.
Right.
And the gratification, it lasts way longer when you're a part of this process the way you're supposed to be. They get excited when they make purchases, right? But they're forgetting the other part of it. It's the sitting back here for an hour and a half just staring at something. You know, it's that, to me, is the part.
Well, I think some people with ordering parts, I think they have it to where if they order parts, it makes them feel like they're part of the build process.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't like that. Like, I would love to build bikes for people. I would love for somebody to come and say, hey, I want you to build me a bike. Mm-hmm. But I want it to be on the level of, hey, I want you to build me a bike. This is kind of what I'm thinking in my head, but go with what, you know, because they're going to see something I've done and say, I like that. So if you see something I did and you like it, but then you come to me and say, hey, let's build something 180 degrees from what it is that you normally do.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Like, I don't, it's hard to.
You don't want to be an asshole, but it's like, man, this is just not really my cup of tea.
Yeah. And I mean, and I don't even think it's being an asshole. Like, I'm never an asshole about it. And it's not like anybody's knocking at my door to have me build a bike. Now, that being said, I've already had a couple of people message me about buying this bike, and it's unfinished. And I said, no, I don't. They were like, well, I want to buy it right now. And I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I want to pick the colors and I want to do this and I want to change. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, and today with the culture of instant gratification, it is like, I mean, you can't even get on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever without seeing a million different things you can order right then.
Yeah.
So people, they like ordering their own stuff, you know? And I mean, it's hard I remember going through the stages of having a shop and being like, I don't install customer furnished parts.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's still some shops that don't. Your Harley dealerships won't. And I don't know why it's so taboo for independent shops to say, hey, I don't, unless you're bringing me something that's a one-off machined part that you had specifically made for it, then I get it. But even then, you can't guarantee the fitment. If I'm not the one that's setting it up and making it work, you're just bringing me a box of parts and then you hope they all fit.
Yeah, and then you have to explain to them why something doesn't work, and now they think that you're trying to get over on them, and you're playing this whole game of like managing expectations. It's not part of the process of building bikes. When I'm building something for myself, I'm only concerned with my expectations, not like, okay, well, now I got to go find a way to explain this situation to the customer to let them know that it's going to be this much more, or we got to scrap it, or his idea just isn't going to work, or it doesn't look good. You know, it's just like, those are a lot of fucking hard conversations to have with someone who's spending money, and you're counting on keeping them happy enough to complete the project with you. You know what I mean?
No, I do 100%, you know, and anymore, I don't even know how, if you ask me, hey, if you had this much money and you wanted somebody to build you a bike, who would you call? There's so many guys out there building incredible stuff that I wouldn't even know who to call. I mean, there's so many guys doing such cool stuff that, I mean, I would have a hard time saying, yeah, I would love for this guy to build me a bike or that guy to build me a bike, because you got OGs in the game that are still building stuff that have been for 30 years. Yeah. It's hard not to say, hey, this is where I would go, you know?
Sometimes it'd be really nice to have a motorcycle built by a certain person, you know, for the collectability or, you know, the culture side of things, you know?
I'm riding a Ron Sims bike that I was a Ron Sims fan when I was younger, and I came across a deal on a Ron Sims bike, and I got it and had some paint work done, changed some stuff on it. And I mean, I love that little bike. Like it's just a little bike I can get on and thrash around on and, you know, not be super worried about it. But that bike's 23 years old. And still in pretty good shape. But, you know, I mean, there's so many guys I could name. I mean, that, you know, guys that I was influenced by. I mean, you can look at this bike and tell that I was heavily influenced by West Coast choppers. I mean, that's, you know, I think by just the fender setup and the frame dimensions, and I mean, that's where a lot of my influence came from. A lot of people say, oh, West Coast chopper this or that, but that was my era of choppers. That was the era of what I was watching. Like, you know, my dad was a biker, but my dad built his own stuff, but he never taught me anything. So I was learning through chopper dogs, the internet, you know, stuff that just pictures, all the catalogs, magazines. I mean, that's kind of the era of what I was learning. You know, had it been another person or a different, you know, like there's some guys that they don't want to build anything if it doesn't look like a Billy Lane bike. Yeah. You know, they love that Billy Lane style. Everybody has something that they're drawn to. And, you know, Jesse and I are not friends. We're not enemies. We don't even know each other. But I admire all of his work, and I'm heavily influenced by it. And I'm not trying to copy him by any means, but I'm just influenced by that particular style.
But everybody's got an inspiration from somewhere, you know, and that's, you know, I've said this on the podcast at probably nauseum for people, but like, we're all a product of our inspirations, and what we create is a version of all those things melded together into us. And then the outcome is like a unique thing, but there's always going to be design cues. The same way music is, you know, there's bands that are influenced by multiple bands, and then they come together and create some other sound that's obviously got to pull from this band and this band and this, and it's something new, but it's so familiar. Sure. You know?
No, 100%.
And there's certain things about design that you really, you know, you're splitting hairs at some point, because something is really good. So going too far away from that formula doesn't look good, right? So like, if a style, like a classic, you know, West Coast CFL style like this right here, I mean, if you're into that, like you go too far off of that, now you're in a different genre of motorcycle.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
You're more of a bobber now. Maybe you're more Indian Larry, kind of skinny tire, you know, different look. But if that's a different look. So like I said, you're trying to design and create and build off of like a parameter, in a sense. Not, I wouldn't say a box, but just like keeping it something in the family of what you're aesthetically into.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's just, I mean, you know, you're influenced by things that you see when you're, whether it's your parents, your friends, whether you're an athlete, you play sports. I mean, there's all the outside influences you get, and you take and you spin those all around your head, and then come up with your own version of all those different influences that create what it is the end product. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you have to take influence from somewhere, or, you know, anybody that says they just came up with something out of just poof, I got it. It's hard for me to believe. I mean, I know there's guys that do that are way smarter than me, but for the most part in the motorcycle industry, everybody's looking at something someone else has done and trying to figure out how to do it better, a little bit cooler, or a modified version of it. I mean, not that there's not original stuff, but
I think a lot of it is just like small incremental advances. And then over 25 years, it looks like a drastic change in things. You know what I mean?
And I'm excited to see, like, I know there's lots of guys like with your FXR chopper, there's other FXR choppers I know in the works.
I know the FXR tour's got quite a few of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I forget his first name, but the Polly Bacon Fingers is what they call him on Instagram. That's a cool bike. Like, I like that bike a lot. So Tucker Speed's doing one, and he's always does good work. So I mean, I think you're going to see some cool stuff. So I may be out of my league, but I'm going to give it hell. So
well, I think that the FXR chopper just kind of you can't really buy them, right? So I think Corey and I touched on this on the last podcast we were on. I think a lot of people have gotten to this point where in 23-ish, 24 for sure, how many people wanted to build another performance bagger? They'd already done one or two. You know, there wasn't a huge resellable market in it, that like across the board. And, you know, you're going to do one all out, you're going to easily spend $80,000, $90,000 building one of these bikes out, right? And so, like, I think for people, you know, building an FXR, some other type of bike that's, you know, you can easily have $80,000, $90,000 in this as well. But the thing is that there's a scalable range that you can still make it cool with 20 grand.
Sure.
You can make 100%. It cooler with 25, or you can go all out and have 100 grand in an FXR. And I think that it just like people were just looking for something new to do. And I think that there's a challenge that comes with putting an M8 into an FXR, and there's a challenge with doing a chopper style. You're relying on your ability to cut, weld, create, put together. So it's like tasking something different as opposed to like new finishes, new billet parts.
This was definitely like the most challenging frame. I didn't build the frame entirely from scratch, but about 85% of it is all new. But definitely the most challenging frame I have had to do in 25 years. Just, I mean, pivot mounts, the down tube, changing the angles of the stuff I didn't like. Like it has definitely been the most challenging bike I've ever done.
What is the stretching on yours right now, and how far up?
Backbone stretch, like forward, no clue. Down tube stretch is 5.5 inches, and it's 5.5 inches over the stock length of a factory FXR chassis. And I mean,
so basically, you were still following the down tube trajectory up, and so whatever that stretch would end up being is kind of what you.
Well, so basically, I put an FXR frame on this table and measured from flat to bottom of the neck on a factory chassis.
Yeah,
and then I set my jig up at 5 inches exactly from the table above that height. Mm-hmm. And then when I started, you know, because I set the engine and trans and the swing arm up, I fixtured those first. So basically built the chassis around it.
Yeah.
And so I ended up raising another half inch because I didn't want the backbone to come back down. I wanted the backbone to be parallel with the rear head. And so I had to give it another, I think it was it may have been an inch. I may have went from 4.5 to 5.5. I don't remember exactly, but it's got 38 degrees in it, which is 100% based on a CFL chassis. Mm-hmm. I mean, I took that, you know, and everybody hates rake triple trees. I say everybody, that's a broad term, but I wanted to run rake triple trees, and I've argued with countless people about at 38 degrees running a rake triple tree versus a standard triple tree. Is it going to make that much difference? And for me, I want it to handle well. I don't want it to be super heavy in the front end.
So what do you total rake with the trees and the neck?
I've got 38 degrees in the neck, and then I'll have the trees are 4 degrees. So 42 degrees, you know. It's a little longer than I expected it to be. I was wanting to run about a 4 over front end. And right now I'm at about 6 over with the ride height that I want. But that was a little miscalculation on my part, just basing. It was hard to base off like soft tail choppers or rigid frame choppers having a little bit lower ride height with the FXR. I mean, I could have set it down a little bit lower, but I've had to run such a short shock. At that point, I'm like, is it still worth? I mean, I think it was too low at that point. So
yeah.
But yeah, 38 degrees. I want to say it's about 5.5 up. I actually brought it back. I brought the down tube back. I notched the down tube and brought it back closer to the engine so that it would still follow that front cylinder angle, but also not be so fucking far away from me that, I mean, I'm 6 foot and it was still felt like it was a little bit out there for me.
Yeah.
Now that I brought the down tube back and shortened the backbone, I mean, I don't know what the backbone stretch is. I mean, I
think it's probably, I mean, it's kind of like ends up being whatever, you know.
It was the measurement that, I mean, I cut it to whatever that length was because I put the down tube in first and then I had the neck and then I put the down tube in and then the backbone was the last piece that I put in. So just because once I got the engine where I wanted it, I put the backbone in so that everything, what I was trying to accomplish probably as much as anything was looking like this chassis was built for an M8, like not putting an M8 in a chassis by modifying the chassis, but basically building a chassis that was designed for an M8 to go in it. Like, I mean, I've raised the engine up, changed how the front mounts work. You know, the engine sits up a little higher, got some ground clearance there. You know, once you get to this stage of it, you can look back and go, man, I think maybe I should have changed that, or I think I could have done this better. But being with time constraints, it's probably a good thing because if not, I would just probably forever be changing things. Like, so I'm at a point now, I'm like, I've got to get past hey, I can make this a little bit better and I got to move forward. It's like my wife said, she goes, you're never going to fucking finish it if you don't stop changing things, you know? But like the rear fender, I posted on Instagram, the rear fender, would it have worked? Yes. Did it look good? I don't know. I just couldn't let it go. So that's what, I mean, I've got in that rear fender, remaking that rear fender, shaping it and the whole, I mean, I got probably 40 or 50 hours into just that fender right now. Yeah. You know, and I'm not quite done with it. I've got another few hours to get it right. I mean, I know that sounds, people are going to go, there's no way you have 40 or 50 hours in a fender. Probably not real hand time just on it, but by the time you know, planish it, I mean, hammer and dolly it, like finish it, the measurements, like there's so much fucking work into that rear fender. Nobody will probably ever know but me. You know, like tapering it from, it's 8 3/4 in the front and then it's 7 3/4 at the rear, getting that taper right, getting it right on both sides. And I mean, I'm the only one that'll probably really know that it's there other than, you know, you're seeing it. But I mean, it just flows better now. I mean, with the tank and everything. So I got to make some fender strut modifications, but I hated the bike at first. I didn't like it at all. But as things started coming together and it starts to turn into a roller and you start looking at with the tank and the fenders, and then I kind of fell in love with it. I mean, like then it even sparked more motivation for me to work. Like, you know, because I work a full-time job during the day and then I come do this at night and then I play hooky from work when I can. And, you know, so I mean, my days are, sometimes it's 3 a.m. till 8 and then I go to my day job and then I come back here at 5 and then from 5 to 2 or 3 a.m. and it's just, you know, like I'm fucking tired, but I'm excited. So, you know, and we're down to crunch time now. I got about Tuesday. I need to have all the fab work done by like Monday or Tuesday. Like the first needs to be, you know, D-Day for me. I mean, and I'm still waiting on, I mean, I've had several problems. Like if it could have went wrong, it probably did during this. I mean, I'm not naming any names of any companies, but man, there's some motherfuckers out there that are so hard to do business with. It's incredible. But there's also some companies that have been, I got to give Boosted Brad a shout out, man. If I call him and say, hey, I'm looking for one of these or looking for one of these, man, I mean, I've priced and shipped same day almost. Like his customer service is
on it,
second to none, man. And that's a huge thing for, you know, there's people that have been like, oh, you're using a lot of Boosted Brad stuff. I'm like, it's available, it looks good, and he ships it.
And he's your friend.
Yeah, and he's a good motherfucker. Like, he's just a good dude. Like, and I mean, there's people that are like, oh, you bought this and you bought that. I'm like, yeah, I did. I have bought a lot of parts, but I've also built almost an entire chassis, making fenders.
I think people forget that sometimes.
Like I can't make my own wheels.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have the ability. Like, so yeah, I got to buy wheels. Now, I designed them and had them cut, so they're one off. Like, but I wanted to make my own exhaust. I don't have enough time. There's just not.
Yeah.
Fucking train, man, every day, 20 times a day. I'm gonna grab something. Drink more water.
Yeah. Hey, try to face out when you talk. That way the back isn't on the camera. I know it's like it makes you want to look at it while you're talking at it, but yeah, that's right there. Yeah.
So I thought you had that set up for the other stuff, so
that's all good.
So face this way? Okay.
Yeah, just try to be more open to the center of the table.
Well, if I'd have known we were on camera, I probably would have done that. So, but yeah, I mean, people say, I mean, anybody can go buy this or anybody can buy that. I mean, yeah, I can go buy stuff, but I mean, you don't have to modify everything, but not everything is just a bolt-on part, and everybody thinks that it's a bolt-on part, but sometimes it doesn't just bolt on. So,
yeah.
I've been through 2 different front ends, and hell, by the time this bike's done, I'll have enough pieces I can build another bike. So,
I'm in the same boat with the FXR I just finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of shit. I mean, when you start running into that deadline, as I was getting closer to Sturgis, it was more like, I don't want to take a chance, so I'm going to order 3 different versions of this just to get it here, like 3 different brake lines and 3 different fittings, and
dude, you can go around that wall right there and look on that counter, and I mean, I have been so undecisive that, like I say, I'll literally, I used a 2019 driveline to mock all this up, and it was out of an Electric Glide, so I've got a complete 2019 Electric Glide that is all going to be put back together, and I think I have enough parts that I'm going to build this bike. I'm calling it the Texas Rattlesnake is what I'm calling it.
Nice.
Just because it's got the diamond pattern on it, and Brad's risers are called Diamondbacks. So I made, the wheels were kind of designed after that theme, the swing arm, the struts. I've got a few other pieces that kind of have a diamond thing. So, and being that it's Texas, I'm just calling it the Texas Rattlesnake. But my goal is I'm going to build a bagger that's kind of the twin version to this chopper, so that I can have a chopper and a bagger that are not identical but close. Like, it's but like I'll say I want to run these bolts for my rotor, but I might want to run these. But these are pretty cool too. So then you order 3, and then you're like, fuck, I don't need 3.
Did you get a lot of those new Arlen S bolts? How are they? I haven't seen them in person.
Fucking beautiful, man. They are. Yeah, like. As soon as he came out with that, I was like, I'm going to buy them. Because I was buying some titanium stuff through Race Tech Titanium.
Yeah.
But it's mostly metric. But so I was trying to find metric, standard, make it all kind of go together. And then when they came out with all that titanium stuff, I was like, fuck, that's rad. Because I'm a big diamond engineering, like the diamond 12-point stuff.
Yeah.
He's gotten a little older. Things have slowed down. It's a little harder to get stuff, but I'm a huge fan of his. I've got a box of 12-point over there, but I wanted to mix it up a little bit. And then now Trask, Nick's just come out with all his full. Have you seen those new titanium kits he has? Fuck, dude, they're like 12-point titanium, and he makes them for everything. Like damn near everything on a touring bike, soft tail. Like you can get, all the stuff. So now I'm like, okay, do I need to mix some of that in, or like you can just go, you can go crazy. Like you can get so, and that's what I'm guilty of is I get so much in my head about, I'll get so fixated on how one thing has to look on Monday, and then on Tuesday, I'm completely changed my mind on, because I put another part on it, and I'm like, I got to tie those together.
Yeah.
So you can get wacko about it. Like I was going to name the bike Chapter 11 because I figured it was going to put me into bankruptcy. And my wife, she's been on my ass a little bit about like, I think you have enough shit, so let's just go ahead and get the bike ready to paint and finish it up. Like no more bullshit. So I was like, all right, cool. So, but I'm excited about it, dude. I am. I'm you know, I know that you put my name in the hat for Born Free. I don't know if that's supposed to be public knowledge or not, but I appreciate you putting my name in the hat.
Hey. You know, I basically just feel like you know, given the opportunity to help out with brands like Born Free on stuff like this. I mean, one of the benefits of being able to go meet and know so many people in the motorcycle industry is that you also get to know the integrity of the people. And what Born Free wants is they want people to come through. They want them to do the job. They want everybody that they invite to show up, right? And I think that sometimes, you know, people, you know, plans in January or February don't always work out to make it to where something's possible in October. So regardless of someone's skills in building, sometimes just people that have their life managed well enough to come through on opportunities is an important thing. Because if Born Free doesn't have builders, then sometimes they don't have a show, right?
Well, and it's been a juggling act for me, just like learning about it. And then I was like, all right, I've got some time. And then I went through this phase of, oh shit, what am I going to build? And then trying to make this work. And then like, okay, I need one of these. I couldn't get it. So I tried a different part. It wouldn't work. So I'm scrambling. And then my daughter's graduating high school. Every weekend I've got a graduation party. Both my kids play volleyball. Every weekend I've got tournaments. I've got athletics. And then, you know, I'm my oldest moving out. I'm like, I've got to spend time with her. She's going off to college. Like, my life is fixing to change. So 2 weeks ago, I moved her to Lubbock to go to Tech. So I literally took a week off just to try to sort out, like, how much different my life's going to be without her being at my house. And it's a huge change for me, man. Like, I'll get emotional if I think about it for very long. But, you know, it's not like, oh, well, she's just going to school, she'll be back. Like, that was a life. Like, she's 18 and going off to school, and she's going to do her own thing. And it set me back a little bit. I was Dad didn't do very well with dealing with her going off. And then I have a younger daughter who's full-time volleyball at high school, and then now she's going to be on this team in Fort Worth, and we got to drive to Fort Worth twice a week for practice. And I mean, schedule is just busy. So I'm you know, I don't have a lot of motorcycle help or a lot of people around me to support. I mean, I've got a lot of support, but as far as helping work on the bike, I got one dude. You met him earlier, Joe. Without his help, man, none of me getting this bike done would be possible. Like, he's come in and been a huge help for me. So, but the deadline is, it sounds like a long time. Until you get to about where we are right now. And then you're like, oh, fuck. You know, because that's kind of where everybody that I've talked to, and I haven't talked, to be honest, I looked at the list of builders and I was kind of like, oh, fuck, man, there's some talented guys on there, like, you know, but I haven't seen anything from anybody other than a few people. Like, so either people are just getting their stuff done and they're just going to bring fire to the game, or people are like, fuck it, and I'm not doing anything, and me and a couple other guys that I've talked to, we're at the, oh, fuck, I hope I finish it stage. You know, so.
Yeah, I think that, you know, for mine, so I was explaining to some friends, it's like, well, I was actually telling Jason Ochoa about this, who is also one of the main guys helping.
Yeah, he's the one that called me.
Curate all the builders and stuff for Born Free. I was like, for those of us in the motorcycle industry, like, that's our job. Like, we had Sturgis first, and that's like, you kind of have to be a part of that. You know what I mean? And so it's not that things weren't happening on the chop on my build prior to that. It's just that until that's over, it's hard to dedicate 100% of my time because I have customer builds. You know, the FXR I just did that I was trying to do for Sturgis, it was kind of like a warm up for me.
Okay.
You know, in a sense, like I hadn't really customized a bike like this since I did the chopper 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
So my mind was like, you know what, man, if I do this first, I'll get familiar with the feeling. You know what I mean? And I actually had that drive and the motivation to do this FXR. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And plus, I needed another bike that my wife could ride on the back with me.
Right.
And I haven't had anything other than the chopper for the last 2 years. So, and then I'm about to build another chopper, which is not going to be something my wife is going to want to ride on. So this FXR was kind of an opportunity to put something together that we can enjoy, but also we can sell it, and that's kind of the plan.
Sure.
It's not a bike I'm keeping. I'm just trying to keep it long enough to make some content and get a little bit of joy out of it. But I'm not doing any bike trips on it. It's going to stay low mileage. Working out all the little. I don't have any kinks right now, but I'm trying to put miles on it to see if some are created, so that by the time I do get ready to sell it, like it'll be a confident thing. Where
you got to shake it down. So I know it's got Arlen Ness wheels on it. Doesn't it?
Yeah,
dude, I'm telling you, man, I have a set of Ness wheels over there. I don't know. I mean, their products. There's a lot of people that give them shit about their products. Their products are fucking nice, dude. I haven't ordered anything from them that. I mean, it shows up on time.
Yep,
it's nice. Like it's packaged well. These are one-off wheels, but those Ness wheels. I ordered them out of drag. They are so nice that I thought about swapping them out. I mean, they just make nice products, man. I'm not sponsored by them. They're not giving me anything. They have really nice stuff.
Well, they're a well-oiled machine.
They
you know
are
what I mean?
Well-oiled machine.
And
Corey and the team do
Well, their goal is to make. They've really done a great job making it easier for people who want to get a taste of customizing their motorcycle, to where, like we were talking about this earlier, it's like a lot of brands don't, like they make parts now for specific areas of bikes. So, like the area you grew up in this industry and the area I grew up in, even when it was specific to that bike, it didn't fit, No,
100%.
So nowadays, most of that stuff is pretty well done. You get levers from Ness, or you get their mid controls for the baggers. Like the stuff goes on, you can kind of do it yourself in the garage.
Yeah.
So it solves a problem, and it's
nice stuff.
It's like it's custom. It's the next level of custom without you having to deal with all the type of shit you deal with whenever you're doing something like this. Right. Where you're modifying things to make work. You're blending different. This is from a bagger, but this is from an FXR. This is from a that, and you're trying to bring all this stuff together. It's not bolt on.
Right. No,
you know what I mean?
100%. I mean, that's what's nice about the Ness stuff is you can bolt it on. I mean, I ordered some hubs from them and some wheels. I mean, that just used everything from mock-up, and they all bolted on, really well. So these wheels were done by SMT.
Yeah. And
they did a fantastic job doing them. It's just a long process, man, from drawing it out to concept to getting it done. And, just like, and I'm pretty patient, but then, 6 months and you're still waiting on something. And like, I just got these. I got back from Sturgis and these were at my front door. So
yeah, it's good.
But
yeah, well, it's tough for these. Like I said, it's all tough, and I get why I understand fully why some brands have longer wait times for certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Well, you have to. I mean, it's especially if you're going to do custom or one-off
or chrome. You think, in my opinion, like they're not going to send a set of wheels. A lone set of wheels get chromed each time. I mean, that's when you look at when you go to click on, I want to get this wheel, and it says, all right, anodize this much, chrome this much. It's like $200 more. It's like, hey, in real life, if you take those anodized wheels and then you say, I want to get these chromed, you're going to spend $1,000 easily getting them chromed somewhere. So these brands, they have to make sure that when they do take things to chrome, they're taking enough chrome to offset the cost. So you're not paying so much money for one set of wheels to get chromed.
Oh, I get the process 100%. And like sometimes I have to check myself and go, hey, listen, they're not just making your wheels.
Yeah.
They got 1,000 other sets they got to make. So you need to chill out and just be patient. So, but being on a deadline, sometimes it's hard to be patient. So, I mean,
you just got to do the due diligence to be ahead of the curve. And obviously, like you and I both were ahead of the curve on our wheels. Yeah. I'm still waiting on mine. There's another week or so of grace before I have to get on their ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But right now I'm stuck. I can't move forward on my bike. I can do little shit, but I can't even get close to finishing the fabrication because I need the rear wheel and the tires to put the wheel in, make the spacers, align the wheel, to align the drivetrain, to know where the fuck my rear fender is going to go. There's not a bolt hole that I just have to throw the fender in. There's tube, and then there's a fender that has nothing that everything's got to get made. The connectivity from that fender to that frame has to be made, and I can't do that till that one part's done. So yeah, I mean that's the only thing that's scaring me. But my deadline for my fab on the bike is to be done with it by the 20th of September.
Okay.
Because like I said, with
you'll be able to knock your paint out pretty quick because you can paint it.
Yeah.
That's that'll be my holdup is I can paint the frame. Just graphics are not. I'm not a graphics guy. I mean, so getting it to paint, and then I may or may not chrome paint the frame. If I paint the frame, I might paint it myself and let Brad paint the tins. So it's going to be down to the wire, especially with all the wiring that's got to go into
the fuel
being
injected.
And then, it's
what kits you end up doing? Like you doing the NAMS
I'm
thing?
doing the NAMS kit, yeah.
Nice.
I like the NAMS product. I looked at doing all full CAN bus. And then the only reason I was going to do CAN bus is because I was going to put cruise control on it. Well, Harley discontinued cruise control, like that whole module setup, except for a few models. So I thought the NAMS kit it'll be cleaner. I am doing like a what do they call it? Keyless start. It's got a keyless start option on it. So I mean, it'll be like, it's kind of, I think, who did I hear say it? It was John Snyder that said, I really love old cool chopper shit, but I really love technology. And so this will be the first fuel injected bike I've ever done.
Really?
So I've never done a fuel injected bike. I've worked on them, but as far as frame up, doing fuel injection, like putting the fuel pump in that tank and like trying to hide all the wiring the way I'm going to, like I've got some work ahead of me to do that because I can't handle all the wiring just being everywhere. It's going to be hard to hide all of it because some of it's just necessary. O2 sensors, fuck man, they're just hard to fucking hide. I mean, I have a plan for them, but whether I can incorporate it in time for Born Free, we'll see. But I mean, But we're getting, the deadline is close. Like I've got to have fab work for the most part is done. I got to mount the tank. I mocked it up kind of how I wanted it, and then I was running I'm running a Coso D2 gauge. So I got a gauge mount. Well, the way the gauge mount worked and where the tank was going to sit weren't going to go together. So I had to pivot, get a new gauge mount, and then figure out where it's going to go. And then now I can reset the tank, which is probably what I'll probably mount the tank later on this evening. And then got to modify a front fender. And then really from there, I think fab work on the sheet metal will be done. Side covers, probably not going to need any paint work. So I'm hoping, dude. I mean, I say I don't want to let any of those guys from Born Free down or myself. And but we're going to be down to I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know if it's frowned upon to bring it in a trailer and roll it in, or if I got to ride it, but it's going to be down to like the 15th and a half probably to get the motherfucker done. Like it's, like, I don't know.
That's kind of, the one thing about my building customizing process that I don't like and I really want to try to work on has something to do with the actual like physical labor, other than the fact that one thing that Corey did that I'm in love with is that he would build the bike like that and completely finish it, like uncoated, raw frame, raw tins, and then ride it. Like wired, everything's ready to go, ride it, shake it down. All right, well, that exhaust mount didn't work or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's my goal with this, is to get it to a point where it's started and it's running. And I can ride it up and down the street and then take it apart, do all my paint, do all my coating. And that way I know that everything's done, instead of like trying to put everything together at the last minute and then the motor don't start or there's something wrong with the motor. So that's kind of my goal here, is to change from like just assuming that everything's going to fucking work at the end of the deal and like be much more ahead of the curve, so that once things are going out for all these coatings, I'm already in a good spot of knowing.
And you're doing that with this Born Free bike?
Yeah.
Wow, fuck. Yeah, that's not happening with mine. Like it's going to be the typical, when we go to start it for the first time, we're hoping that it starts. Like that's how we're doing this one. Like I would love to put one together with no paint and ride it, shake it down, take it apart, and then redo it. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's next level patience, and I'm patient as fuck. But that level of patience is. I could do that. I could do it if I wasn't on a deadline. But being on the deadline, like I'm like.
Yeah.
Hey, there's just not enough. Now, I mean, I was down almost a month because of Sturgis. I had to get the other bike ready for Sturgis and do some paint work, and I lost a month going through that, and the frame, this frame literally kicked my ass. Like moving the pivot mounts, well, it'll help make the bike what it is, but man, it was a giant pain in the ass. Like,
those subtle tweaks that
nobody will notice them.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's one of those things that not many people know, but I mean, they're moved forward about an inch and quarter, inch and a half, just so that M8 I could stuff it in there and make it look like it belonged. But the frame did kick my ass. Like at one point in time, the only two things I had were the two triangles. That was it. And then we took off from there and, basically built it around the engine. So
yeah.
I think it's going to work. If I can get it together, I think it's going to be a nice bike. So
it's coming along. Like I said, I think it's bitching. And I was talking to a buddy yesterday. I was like, man, the bike I'm building for Born Free, I mean, it's really not even close to a show bike. It's really just my first chopper I've ever built, and I'm more on the cusp of like I'm trying to ride it to San Francisco this year, like after Born Free, and so I don't know, but I'm also like depending on how much time I have, I'm going to see how much nicer I can jazz it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
sure.
But for me, it's more of like the rite of passage kind of build. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We took a sporty tank last week and chopped it, and I did some stuff. I got to use the English wheel for the first time ever in my life. Really uncoordinated with that thing.
Oh, you'll learn. It's just practice. I mean, like, and I use an English wheel still some, but I'll use a planishing hammer probably more than I do a wheel. Mm-hmm. But my English wheel is sitting over there. But
the problem, I see the point of it all. What I'm going to have to do as I push further into like the fabrication stuff is eliminate the thought that I can fix that with Bondo.
Right. Well, that's like that rear fender. I mean, I'm trying to get that thing so straight that we don't have to have Bondo, and I'll do the same with the front. Like, I know you're gonna have to have a skim coat of something, but
yeah,
I'd like it to be smooth enough. I could just put a little high build primer on it, make it good.
Make it good. Yeah.
We're getting close. I mean, it's like I say, it's those hours, those long nights, and hearing that, between an English wheel and a planishing hammer rattling like, but. We'll see. I'm excited. Like I say, I really am. I'm excited that I got asked. I'm excited about the bike. I'm excited. Probably won't be everybody's cup of tea. I don't know if Born Free has a style. No. I think there's a style associated with it. But maybe they're getting away from that.
The good thing about Texas is that Texas is it's got the potential to be so much bigger, scalable, that the whole goal with Texas is it to be everything, everything under the sun when it comes to American V-twin. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's probably going to be other stuff there too, but they can do a lot there. And I think that they just want people to enjoy it, having cool bikes. And, the evolution of, like I was saying, I think we were saying this earlier when I got here, like Born Free Cali is like such a staple, and it's an amazing show that if anybody goes to, you got to experience it. But Texas has the organization that Born Free brings, which is very well-oiled machine, but it's a completely different show and vibe. It's like you can't say Texas and California are the same in that regard. They're two different things with a lot of similar things going on at them, but they have a different vibe. Okay. Vibe is such a loose term.
Sure.
But, when you go to California, like, and you get a grass pass, like once not to downplay it or talk shit about it or anything, but like when you get a grass pass and you go to California, like your bike can still be a quarter mile away to, a mile away, right? Not really a mile, but far away. When you come to Texas, like your pass gets you in. You can park your bike wherever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? If you decide I want to go to Born Free and I just want to go put a hammock up in the woods over there, and I don't know, maybe I'll come out Sunday. You can do that. If you want to go there and hit the bar and never leave the bar, you can do that. You want to go there and set up your own little campsite, party all weekend and never wear clothes. We haven't seen that yet, but you can do that. So there's freedom in Texas that you can kind of make it your own event. You know, like you can make it, your experience is less dependent on how much they're giving you, like an itinerary, and more to like, hey man, this is going on, but you can do whatever the fuck you want to do here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's why I love it. And I think it's a good balance to what California is, you know?
See, and I have no clue what to expect at all. Like I don't know anything about like bringing the bike, setting up the bike. Like I don't even know anything about it other than, hey, can you build a bike for Born Free Texas? Sure. That's what I know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything else. Like, I don't know if they put you on a stand, or you get like a display, or you supposed to have a booth. I don't know shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
anything.
I think each builder gets a vendor space down there, 10 by 10 or something like that. And then you get because it's open field grass and it's kind of a bowl. I don't know if they got to the point where they're doing like pedestals, or they don't even do that in California. They just have it opened up, and you can kind of like, you want to do your shit straight lowrider style and have it on a spinner, you can do that. Okay. I'm sure, but you'll have to figure out how to power that thing and all that shit.
So the grass pass, which I don't want it on a pedestal at all. Like, I'll just park it in the grass is fine. But so Born Free California, like getting a grass pass, is that a big deal? Like,
yeah, that's the point. So because you can ride in, and they only sell a certain amount of grass passes because there's only so much space in that deal. And dude, there's a lot of people at Born Free California.
It looks like it, man.
It's
packed. That's on my radar for 26. I want to do.
I mean, that's the thing, is build this thing and then take it to Born Free, put it in the FXR show there with San Diego Customs and those guys. Take it to Daytona. I mean, I think that Chris Harry has been doing some an FXR related event down there.
Has he? Okay, I didn't know that.
I think he did it for the first time this year.
Okay.
But I don't even know if I should say this on here. Like, I'm trying to get the beginning stages of trying to put on a legit FXR related event in Texas or South. I'm not trying to own it or anything. I'm trying to get people together to put something together that's kind of, I wouldn't say, out of respect, maybe sanctioned by some of the other OGs in the FXR world.
Okay.
Just to kind of bring something, people do want to come and get the Texas flavor, like you do with the East Coast or West Coast Jam.
Yeah.
But
keep me in mind. I mean, I'd love to help be part of it.
That's kind of something. I'd like to do it with like people. Like, I don't want it to be a fast life thing. I just want to do something to get people together.
So the FXR bug, like, it's so crazy how. I mean, everybody has to think what they like, but like my buddy that was here earlier, like he's like, I just don't get it. He's like, I don't understand the draw to it. I got his little rigid frame back here, and he's a bobber guy. That's what he likes, but the FXR thing is, I mean, it's on fire pretty heavy. And like, I got another FXR frame over there, and I've got a couple in the front, and I want to do another one for sure. And I don't think it's going to slow down, really. I mean, with the Softails coming around, the new Softails from Harley, I mean, you're seeing more of guys customizing those and riding those. And I've been working on trying to figure out how to put an FXR chopper frame into production with an M8 that you could basically take all of your Softail stuff and transfer it directly over to an FXR chopper, and it'd be a monoshock and the whole deal. But hopefully that traction will pick back up after Born Free. But
yeah.
I had to put it on hold just for the amount of time, just trying to dedicate time to this, and because laying out a complete setup to being able to transfer parts, which would it be cost effective? Probably not. It would probably be a money loser, but I don't think FXRs are going anywhere. I mean, I think they're here for a little while. So
yeah, it's definitely, once again, I just feel like a lot of people. There's just a lot you can do to it. There's a lot of different places you can take it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. You could leave it alone. You can take it to a chopper. You can turn it into a pro street. Sometimes just keeping them on the road is enough work. You know what I mean?
Well, and you look back, man, like Arlen Ness, Dave Perowitz, like a lot of OGs that were riding FXRs, like when they first came out, were making like diggers out of them, the long, low pro streets, like.
I like that one that came out this year, the Warbird. I forget the shop that
Corbin produced the Warbird body kit.
I think so. It was an East Coast company that built the bike, I think Jeremy Lucky Strike painted it. It was a blue one. It was really nice.
Yeah, it's Jason Souza, Corey Souza's brother at Fault Line Customs built that bike.
Yeah.
And that's a Corbin Warbird kit. It's a beautiful bike. I tell you what, man, Jason Souza is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's one of the smartest motorcycle guys. Like, his brother is Corey builds great bikes, and they're crazy paint off the wall. He's got all these really cool little ideas, and then, he's a little, I don't want to say flashy, but he likes that craziness. His brother, man, is just calm, super smart, low key. And then I spent several days with him in Sturgis and looked at that blue bike, and we just went over every aspect of it, man. And it's done really, really well. It's a beautiful, beautiful bike. I can't think of he built it for I think her name's Andrea. I can't think of her first name, but he built it for her. And he's got a shop up East Coast called Fault Line Customs, him and some other guys, and they did great work, man. They're sleepers for sure.
Yeah.
So he's a talented guy. So, but there's supposedly that's a Warbird kit, and supposedly Corbin's coming out with a new version of that Warbird kit. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's for FXRs or if it's going to be for something different, but I think there's a new version of that coming out. So,
well, with the Softail platform, kind of what Thrashin and Cruzy are trying to do right now, building those into choppers, I think is going to be. You're going to probably see more of that. Because like I said, I think the bug that's been created off the back end of, so many shops building performance baggers over the last couple of years is really wanting to get back into actually physically making things, cutting things, welding things, changing it way farther than what you're going to be able to bolt on or whatever. You know what I mean?
And that's where I'm at. This has excited me so much about the fab part of it. That really, that's the stuff I think about is making this or making that, or I don't want to just bolt on everything anymore. I want to make, I want to do frames and get back into doing some tanks and some fenders, and I want to make stuff for them. So
yeah,
I'm excited. You know what? If they start building Softail choppers, I'm cool with that too. It's all cyclical, right? So we see big wheel baggers, then performance baggers, and then you got performance FXRs. Then now we're getting into the FXR chopper, and then you may see some performance choppers if that's a thing. I know there's some shows going around for the performance chopper show.
Put that on. I think it's more of a buzzword than anything. Not to downplay anything. I just think it's a play. We're so acclimated to the word performance that when you throw it onto a chopper, it's kind of, we get it. All right, so it's a chopper, but it's kind of like a resto mod. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of newer.
It's like an LS swapped Camaro with good suspension and fuel injection and good disc brakes and the whole, you know what I mean?
So it's got a chopper aesthetic with technology of now, you know?
And I mean, what's performance? Is it braking? Is it speed? Is it cornering? Is it handling? Is it all of it? I mean, who defines?
If you ask me, it's T-bars. But
who defines performance though? It's like who defines chopper?
Yeah.
Everybody, I guess, gets to have their own definition of what they want to, what they want to call it.
And trust me, whenever, Rennie and I both, when we both did our bikes for the first FXR tour, I mean, we had a very small amount of hate for it. There was one dude that just wanted to make his whole career off of it. But most of the people dug it, right? Because it looked cool. It was a familiar thing, but also unfamiliar in the same right. But the world, I think the world gets triggered when you use a word like chopper, and it doesn't fit the narrative of what chopper is in their head. Whether that's.
But isn't that supposed to be the whole thing about choppers? Growing up, my dad rode a chopper, and he didn't want to fit into anybody's fucking narrative. He wanted to be. The chopper was against the grain and not having a narrative. It's kind of like that whole. You do whatever you want with it. I mean, wasn't that kind of the whole chopper mantra for years?
Yeah, and I think that anytime you take the verbiage of this world and you apply it to anything psychological, to describe an era, to describe a group of people or whatever the case may be, then that's when it gets kind of weird, because I think a lot of people just want to keep the terminology based on the actual product or to describe the bike, right?
Sure.
But, there was a lot of people making choppers in even the early 2000s that were also swing arms.
Well, I was told at Sturgis this year, and I don't know. I didn't know the guy very well. I mean, I kind of know who he is, but I said something about FXR chopper, and he goes, "There's no such thing." I was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, you can't have a chopper that has a swing arm." I'm like, "Oh."
So what would you call this?
I'm calling it an FXR chopper. I don't give a fuck what anybody else calls it. Like, like it's an FXR, right? But
so that's what I would ask him is like, well, what would you call this?
It's just a raked FXR. Is that what I call it? Or I mean, like, so it's kind of like, and I don't get off into that whole, like, I'm never going to tell anybody fuck off or go fuck yourself, or that's not really my mentality. But at the same time, sometimes I feel like people just say things like, I'm not a huge, like, if you see me out in the crowd, like, once you get to know me, I'll talk and be friendly, but I'm a bystander majority of the time. I'll just listen and I try to learn and take, things in. Like, and I feel like there's some guys that just, like, if you say something, they can't be like, oh, that's cool. They have to say something. They have to say, well, that's not you can't have an FXR chopper. Like, you can't do that. Like, or you just like performance bagger. When that whole deal started, people are like, there's no such thing. You can't have a performance bagger. And now these motherfuckers are running fast. I mean, like, and I get those race bikes are different, but, Steve Chamberlain, his baggers, man, that's a riding motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I would call his bikes performance baggers. I don't mean he'll outride some sport bike guys all day long.
100%,
So I don't know. I just like the whole FXR chopper hate thing. Like, I don't know that it's they just don't like FXR choppers, or if it's just everybody's going to hate on something. Like, everybody has to have that. Like, and that's one of the things I just posted on Instagram about, like, just being negative. Like, dude, if you build a bike and you like it, I'm going to be happy for you.
Yeah.
There's no need in me saying, oh, well, your bike sucks because of this, or that doesn't make sense, or you can't have a chopper because it has this, or, like, none of that. I mean, that's not my business to tell you what you think is cool or what you can call your bike something. Like, I just don't want that negative energy. I don't want to be around people that have that energy. Like, if you build something and you go, hey, this is what it is, I'm like, hey, that's fucking rad, dude.
Yeah.
And if, you don't have to.
At the end of the day, you're not going to win anything. There's no prize at being right on that.
No. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like my wife, she's like, are you going to win something at Born Free? I'm like, I don't think there's anything to win.
Yeah.
It's just for me, it was an honor to be invited. Like that's a huge thing. Like, people don't understand it. Like, my people around me that are not in the motorcycle industry, they don't have a clue. They're like, what are you doing? It's weird. Like, they don't get it. But for me, it's fucking huge. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. But
no, that's good.
Just people's attitude.
Yeah.
Like, I just want, and in the motorcycle industry, for some reason, and it may be all industries, but I see it in the motorcycle industry because I'm involved in it.
Yeah.
But the level of hate, instead of the level of wanting to see your shop, the other shop do good, or the other business do good, or the other parts companies do good. Like, I should want you to be super successful with your podcast, your paint, your bike, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we should all want that for the next person, instead of always having like, my stuff has to be better than your stuff, and you didn't do this right, and that's not right. And, like, that whole mentality, man, at my age, I mean, I'll be 52. I'm over that. Like, I want you to do good. I want the guy, Brad Barnes, I want Brad to do good. I want Jason Hallman to do good. I want Paul Yaffe to do good. I mean, I want everybody that's out there that's doing something to do well. Like, I just don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Because that seems to be what, like, you're at a bike show at Sturgis, and you can be standing beside somebody, and they're standing there looking at a something that somebody put hundreds of hours into creating, something they think is fantastic. And then this guy's over here just talking shit about it, just for the sake of talking shit.
Yeah.
And he may not even know. He may not know how many hours the guy did. There may be something really cool on that bike that nobody can see but the guy that built it. But this guy's talking shit just for this, because it sounds cool to talk shit, maybe. Like, and that's just not the space I want to be in, man. I just, like, if you don't like this bike, I'm cool with it. Like, but you don't got to hate on it. Like, I'm not going to walk up to somebody else's bike and go, man, that's fucking terrible. I can't even believe that guy did that. Like, I mean,
I usually do it behind their back.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, I'm not saying that we can't have an opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
like
just that, like, I'm
not trying to put it out to the world. Like, if you and I sit back and go, hey, man, what'd you think of Homeboy's bike? And it's a private conversation, and we're just, like, maybe having a conversation so I can understand where your head is at as what you see. I think that's constructive criticism, but
100%.
Unless they ask for it, don't give it to them. But I'm also not trying to spread that information.
Honest opinions and conversations are healthy.
Yeah.
But just being a bystander that talks shit because maybe and maybe jealousy. Like there may be some jealousy involved when you get a guy that talks a little bit of shit because maybe he can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I take it for granted a little bit sometimes, and like, you know, Jason Hallman's one of the guys. He's like, dude, he goes, you don't understand. He goes, not everybody can do that frame. He goes, you know, that was a tough frame to build. There's guys that can build circles around me. He goes, but you got to remember, there's also guys that could never get through that.
I've always said that, man. That like, at the end of the day, like, it's talent plus vision that makes something cool at the end. And sometimes there's a lot of people that have a lot of talent, but they don't have a vision to apply the talent. So sometimes, you know, and this is literally being hypocritical of what we just talked about, but I don't go on podcasts and be like, you know whose bikes really suck? This brand, this brand, this brand. I don't do that. And I don't even think I would say that they suck. I wouldn't even use that terminology. But, you know, if I'm talking to my buddy and I'm like, man, did you see Homeboy's bike? I don't know if I'd have did that.
Oh, no, and I get
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to be honest. We all do that shit, but I'm not going to go to a bike show and be like, yo, dude, you really missed it on that one.
Oh, and dude, I see it happen, man. I like bike shows. After the bike show's over, and then you see people, they're so fucking mad about that somebody won something. And I'm like, what is he mad about?
That's why I don't do the bike show. I mean, I go to the FXR show in Sturgis because of connecting with all the people that are there.
Yeah.
But getting wrapped up into thinking that my bike is like to allow someone else to place value on something that I am in love with. Like, I don't want to do that.
Well,
you know,
for me, like this bike, I love this bike. It's fun doing it. I'm excited about doing it. But at the end of the day, that bike brings me closer to the industry and people in the industry that I want to get to know and meet, right?
Yeah.
So there's more to it than just that bike. Like, it's cool, but there's also so many different facets around that not furthering my business at all, because I'm not really trying to further my motorcycle business right this second. But it opens doors and friendships and relationships, and you know, and it's also, there's a sense of pride, like, hey, you know, I was able to build that. You know, a lot of people can't. I mean, like, you're airbrushing. Fuck, man. You know how many people can't do that in this world?
Like, I don't even know if I can anymore.
Well, I mean, but I sell myself short sometimes, and I think a lot of people sell themselves short. And then you have the opposite of that. You have guys that think they're the fucking best there is and the best there ever was, and that they can't do anything wrong. And you know,
it's a weird place to be in that, in exactly what you're talking about, where you have to be confident enough to sell the work that you're trying. Like, for me, I have to be confident enough that when you decide to come with me with paint work, that I talk with enough confidence that gives you confidence in me to do the job, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're so like detrimental to your own skills, like, I don't know, man, I'm really not the best, blah, blah, blah. You're like, well, fuck, who is the best? Because I'm about to spend some big money here, and I want the best shit I can get, regardless of how humble you're trying to be right now. Like, at the end of the day, transactions are transactions. But it's different when you if I was to make posts on Instagram saying that I'm the best, you know what I mean? Oh, well, you know what I mean? So it's like, well, and you got to sell yourself, but you don't sell yourself to people that aren't asking to be sold to, you know?
I need to get a little better at self-confidence. Like, I need to believe in myself a little more, to where, I mean, I know I can do things. I just, like, I don't ever want to pat myself on the back. And, you know, maybe I should be a little more confident in my work and feel like, hey, I am doing a good job. And, you know,
but that's your own internal struggle. That's not something you have to be vocally outward with. It's the concept of, like, you know, that saying, like, imposter syndrome, right? Like, where you feel like you're doing the thing that you feel like, and you're actually succeeding at it, but you don't feel like you should be, or you don't feel like you're actually doing it. You know what I mean? How do you word? Let me try to word it better.
And that's called imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome. So where you feel like you're doing, like, say you're building a bike. Well, you did it, but you still don't think that you're on that level to do that, but you did it.
Okay.
So it's not a bad thing to have it. It's like the opposite of being a psychopath or a sociopath. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So
that makes sense.
The other side of that is you going, oh yeah, I know how to do all that shit. I'm whatever. What I've had to do recently is sometimes like, and this is what I loved about starting to do these YouTube videos. And it's going to probably sound kind of arrogant to say this, but like I'll go back and watch like some of the ones I did when we were building the FXR, because it reminds me, oh yes, I know how to do that. I've done it before. I can do this again, you know? Because in your head, sometimes like I'll just sit here and look at that bike and go, how the fuck did I pull that off? You know what I mean? Like how the fuck did I do that?
I guess I went through this a little bit on this bike because, I mean, honestly, the last frame modifications I made were like, the last time, and when I say modifications, I'm talking about rake and stretch and like heavy modifications were probably 2010, 2011 is probably, that's probably how long it's been since I really like have really dove into fabrication work, like sheet metal, doing the frame, coping, you know, like everything that I did on this bike, which has been like this bike has helped me in so many ways that have nothing to do with the bike or Born Free, like just as far as just getting back into something I love, not getting that, I talked about the burnout, like it's done so many things for me that, you know, like I said, it hit at the perfect time. Like I want to do frames, I want to do sheet metal, I want to do fab stuff, you know, I don't want to just bolt on parts right now. That's kind of.
Well, I think that when that stuff was like much more prevalent in our industry, as you go through the motions, it becomes more of a job. Then I think a lot of the industry starts leaning into, well, we can damn near print parts now, so let's print these parts and sell these parts. So the idea of going and, you know, blowing off the planishing hammer or the English wheel or any of that stuff becomes foreign, because you can make more money by just printing some more parts and making a new, you know, little adjustment here. Here's the new version 2.0, right? And so there's not a lot of money in going back over here to start hand forming tanks and fenders and shit like that. But the satisfaction, like the internal feeling of doing that, is something that can't be replaced by a machine humming all night in the dark. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not to say that like all CNC machine-based companies are shit. I'm just saying that there's something different about your relationship to a motorcycle when you see the fender that you bent, that you formed, the tank that you made, the frame that you cut and welded. Like it just changes your connection to it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it's hard to have. It's not easy. You know, it's a lot of skills and a lot of responsibility riding on those skills. You know, you're not just you know, I'm just going to cut that and move it over here without any kind of like proper welding technique, you know, fixtures, things like that, and then ride it and be safe. You know, like these are also still the things that kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
They don't kill them, but they.
I'm hoping this one doesn't come apart on the first bump. I'm hoping I don't hit a bump and it just come apart. But
yeah, the imposter syndrome thing is a very common thing. I mean, sometimes, you know, I think a lot of artists deal with that. Like people that are truly into the art that they make, they're doing it because they're compelled to do it. They have a feeling, I want to make this, I can do it. But they're doing it for themselves, right? And it's like the adulation or the compliments that come from the outside in that kind of help the confidence along the way. Because I know I did. You have to doubt yourself on certain aspects of building a bike.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Man, is my vision good? Is my welding good? Is this going to work? Is that going to work? You know, you're going to go through those fucking ups and downs. And when you look at it, you're like, fuck, I love this. I think I'm ready to show somebody. And you put it out on Instagram and people love it. You're like, fuck, thank God, man. You know?
I went through that. I mean, I did. I didn't want to post any pictures, and a buddy of mine was like, dude, just post some pictures of it. Just post a few pictures of it, you know? And so I did. And, you know, I think the response was, I don't have a large Instagram following, but the responses that I got were good. So, I mean, I guess it makes me happy. Like, I mean, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's,
we all want somebody to like our stuff. Like that's,
yes.
You say,
we want to be accepted in the tribe.
Everybody thinks like, that's bullshit, because I do care. Like if somebody sees it and they don't like it, I'm going to be like, I wish they liked it. But, you know, I just appreciate the people that do like it more than, you know. So, I mean, I want people to like it.
It's not the end of the day if they don't. But
it feels good if they do.
But it feels good if they do. Yeah. It justifies a lot in yourself and things like that. But yeah, man, it's fuck, man, you can't. So, I don't know. There's a lot of those like, once again, psychological things that go into these processes that I've, you know, like I said, I haven't done anywhere near as many bikes that you've built in your career, like to this level and shit like that. Like I bolted on tons of things, but I'm tapping into these feelings of doing bikes that I've never had before, and it's so intoxicating. The hard part is figuring out how to do it and make money.
That is the hard part. That is the hard part.
And that's kind of why, like, even though I'm not technically ready to start like going out on my own and do my own full FXR chopper build on my own without having Corey around to kind of like guide me, the goal is to get to that point. And I don't know why, because I don't feel like I'm going to get tasked to build a lot. By the time I get good enough to do this on my own, the fat will be gone.
That's how it always works. That's how it works. So speaking of fads and trends, and I mean, it's your podcast, but I'm just going to ask your opinion on, so where as far as, I mean, all the stuff that we do with these bikes is all based because of Harley Davidson and the V-twin platform. Where are they headed? Where's Harley headed?
I think they were headed in a good direction. I don't know what the fuck everybody's tripping on. I think people forget we live in a capitalist environment, that the goal is to grow. I mean, I don't like certain aspects of capitalism, but I do like certain aspects of capitalism, right? I wish that Harley wasn't so big they needed to be a publicly traded company so that they could be happy with profits that are still considered profits and not having to meet new metrics that might not, might not be an ender of a business, but it could make people want to sell out all their shares or dump their stocks or whatever, right? So I don't really know enough about their world. I probably just said a bunch of stupid shit.
No, I was in Sturgis when they announced the new CEO, and around lots of industry guys, and the grumbling was heavy,
Well, first thing, like on that, you or I are not business of that scale builders.
No
right?
Way.
And I don't know that, I mean, what you want is kind of like what used to happen with like Jesse James. He was consulting, right? If a CEO comes in and they consult with aspects of the industry to help guide it in certain ways, I think that makes sense.
Sure.
Right? But to just, we're kind of moving past all those DEI policy kind of things and that kind of politics. So where maybe we can get back on a regularly scheduled programming of just making products and focusing on creating a culture that we can go use these products in. So that's kind of the one thing that I think that people, they look at the product so much, and the product's the only thing that's monetarily like, I make this, you give me money. That's how this industry works. Well, yes and no. The industry also works because you're selling, like you don't have to, you need lakes to sell boats.
Sure.
Right? You need roads to sell cars and motorcycles. But for them to want to pick a motorcycle that just goes up and down the street, you need to have something connected to it that people are connected with. Culture,
sure,
rallies, events, things like, hog chapters are kind of like a dying demographic that I don't know anybody young that's actively seeking hog chapter membership or involvement. So there's like there's a lot of things that need to reform, if you will, within the dealer, or not the dealer, but the corporate level. But I will say that I think that I don't have a problem with anything they've been doing. They've been more involved in the custom motorcycle industry for the past 5 or 6 years than I have ever seen in my entire life, 20 plus years in the industry.
They have been involved.
They do a lot of shit that, like they'll make parts or they'll try to avoid warranties. That's a different part of the brand, right? That's the part that like every company's going to have shit like that. They're trying to make its most profits. But then you got this other side where, like they're giving away Harley Davidsons to builders so that they can showcase all the things that are going to void your warranty at Born Free. Right. And then they work with a lot of like independent creators and things like that. So if I would say anything, that I would think they should probably diversify their partnerships to not just be YouTube people, to maybe balance it out with like shops, brands, in other ways. So it's not just like if you get a certain amount of YouTubers and you're, YouTube subscribers, and you kind of now have entered into the area of potentially getting a bike. Because the problem that I see with that is when you have YouTubers building bikes, we're all at different levels of it, right? But you can't, YouTube has a lot of influence because there's so many people that follow it. So you don't want people saying, yeah, I'm a bike builder, blah, blah, blah. And all they're doing is like this basic ass shit so it kind of like takes away the meaning of what it means to be a bike builder, to go through the motions, to learn how to do these hard things, to understand rake and trail, to understand, a lot more aspects of customizing and building bikes than just being like, we got all these new parts here and we're going to install it. And then now we're also an invited builder for this, that, and the other. I mean, there was a big disparity. There was a big difference between some of the builders that were Harley Born Free builders this year. Like some of them were absolute fucking monsters of builders. Yaniv, Hawk Lachey, Heath Pinter, dudes that like are on my Mount Rushmore of like bike builders, of current era bike builders, right? And then you didn't have some people on there.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I mean,
so it's I get it. It's hard for Harley to kind of navigate those waters, but I think that they do enough stuff with YouTubers that maybe keep the YouTubers that aren't bike builders on just doing like what they do. Don't put them in the category of building bikes with guys like that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Personally. What the fuck do I know?
No, I mean, I think there should be some diversity. I mean, I see where they're trying to diversify a couple different directions, and I mean, I get it, but I wonder if they're consulting. Like, I wonder if their ears are open and they're listening to industry guys, or if they're.
I know FXR division has their ear. I know that Saddleman, Heath Pinter has their ear. I know that they do mess with some people that I highly respect in this industry. But I think that like you also need to look across the country, and I think they do it with like Jake Hines at Prism Supply and his brother and things like that. So, like I said, I don't think there's a problem with what they're doing. I just think that people like to they like to give, no matter what the decision is, they want to give a lot of grief. I'm gonna tell you like this, and this is unpopular. There are a lot of people who are legends in our industry who kind of need to sit down and let the next generation start fucking getting some of these opportunities.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that to be a dick or anything like that, because if you're still building cool shit, then it doesn't fucking matter how old you are, period. But if you're just there and you're just like, you're not moving the needle, you know?
But is there a demographic out there? Is there a younger generation that's ready to pick up the baton and do the stuff? I mean, I know you got some young guys out there doing it.
It's based on opportunity. If there's no opportunity, then no one's going to pursue it.
No, that's true. That's true.
So if some dude comes in this industry and busts their ass and like does some cool shit, but never gets, there's no invited builders. There's no Harley, build a bike for our shit. Like, then they're going to lose interest and they're going to get a job doing something else. Right. They're going to go find somewhere where opportunity exists within it. And so that's why it's important for the industry as a whole to focus on continuing to create culture and opportunity. And I'm glad that Born Free, Mike and Grant will ask a guy like me, hey, who do you know that does some cool stuff that can do shit? Because then I can know all these people that I sit down with on podcasts and know that somebody could come through and follow through with building a bike. The first FXR tour was 90% dudes that I was really close friends with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all of them showed up. You know what I mean? So in that regard, you want to give people an opportunity. I always use Rennie as an example. He wasn't getting opportunities and a lot of attention, but I knew he was hungry and I knew that he would fucking put everything he could into whatever he was going to do. And he fucking did, and it's turning out well for him.
Good. Good.
So
I'm glad to see that.
Opportunity is what creates growth in our shit. So we got to find more ways to create opportunity to get more people to want to customize bikes and shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you had to scrape the bottom of the barrel this time. I'm glad my name got thrown in the hat. So, and I'm hoping it does create an opportunity. I can't say that I don't care. I mean, I hope it creates an opportunity of some sort. That looks like, I don't know, but I hope it creates something.
Yeah. So the thing is it's a form of managing your expectations, right? So right now the expectation just should be I want to build the coolest bike I can. And I don't want to hinge my enjoyment or fulfillment on somebody else liking it or giving me an opportunity or someone, wanting to buy it. Like, build it for yourself, right? And then if you build it, and I think when you build it with that kind of mentality, like it's a very authentic build, right? It's completely for you, and it shines through, like, the love you put into it. And then opportunities will come and follow you because they saw that heart you put into that bike. Because think about it, man, there's probably not a lot of soul in a lot of things that people do. Not to say that their bikes aren't good, but there's an ulterior motive of this thing's for sale as soon as it's done. I don't, this is just the same thing I've done 5 times, but a new colorway. And hey, that's not me trying to talk shit about that, but there's a difference between those builds and someone that's sweat and fucking ground away and designed and spent a year or 2 years thinking of this bike and then finally getting a chance to do it. Like, there's just a difference, man.
Right.
And maybe, that's 100% just my opinion on it, but I just think that there's something more to building bikes than just, what's the coolest thing right now? It's baggers. Who's got all the coolest parts? Who's got this? Who's the top painter? So you assemble this fucking dream team of things, and you get, not to downplay any of the shops or any of the people involved, but you get kind of a regurgitated cyclical thing.
Gotcha.
A lot of billet, a lot of, pastels, a lot of things that when you look at it at the end of the day, it's like, man, like I could easily see this thing sitting the way certain bikes of certain eras sat after they weren't cool anymore.
Sure. Well, and I think you go through that with a lot of stuff. I mean, it's, lots of big wheel baggers that probably sitting, there's probably lots of old FXRs probably still sitting. I mean, I think it's part of the nature of it. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I have to sell every one I build just to keep the ball rolling, so I don't get to sit. I don't have anything to get to sit around and grow old.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like, and I'm not trying to poke any kind of like fun or throw shade at that, because that is the business, right? To build something cool and then move on from it,
right.
But I mean, don't you kind of want to enjoy it a little bit? You want to go ride it around a little bit,
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't want to sell this bike. I really don't. I mean, it would have to be. It'd have to be strong. They'd have to come at me strong for me to want to sell it, because I've got so much. Like, this bike means so much to me based on my 24 being so bad, and then getting back into the fabrication stuff and rehoning some skills and trying to relearn all that, and like I say, what it's done for me mentally. Like, I don't plan on selling it anytime soon. Like, I mean, I like I said, there was moments I hated this bike, and I'll probably have some moments I hate it again here pretty soon, but overall I love it, and I really don't want to part with it. Like, I've sold every bike. I didn't want to sell my orange FXR. I had to sell it just because of COVID and going through job stuff and house. I was in the middle of a house remodel, and just things got really shitty. And like I say, had to sell it. Probably didn't have to, just made things easier. So this is the one that I think, if it turns out how I think it will, it's the one that I don't plan on parting with anytime real soon. So.
Yeah, I think that a good rule of thought is like, hey, if you do know that one day you'll sell it, just have, like, hey, I have a number, and I'm gonna stick with that unless I get to a point in life where I have to sell it, kind of like you said about your orange one, But my gold one, like I built that, with the complete intention of never selling it, because I've always wanted to have that one. I mean, when you go to Nessa's spot, or hell, even fucking, go see Oliver at the Cut Rate, all his bikes. It's like, which he sells bikes every once in a while, but like, I want to be able to have something that is like, that I'm okay with not getting rid of. You know what I mean? That I'm okay with, like, I want this to be in my brand's legacy, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And, like, if somebody wants that bike, I can make you one.
Yeah.
I mean, and even playing that game of like, I mean, if you were going to sell it, how much? I'm like, I'm not even going to fucking play that game, because if I put a number in my head, then I'm always going to be looking at life when I get tough. I'm like, well, there's 30 grand sitting over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I could build another one.
Right.
You know, and then that one's
there.
gone.
I've been there.
You know,
I'm just going to try not to do it with this one. I mean, this is, I want to hold on to this one. So it's got a lot of, I don't know if sentimental is the right word, but I got a lot of attachment to it. So I just think the amount of work I've put into it, and like I say, I mean, people are going to go, I don't look like that much work to me, but if they knew how much work went into that chassis, they'd have some respect. So, but,
well, it's those subtle things that people can't put their finger on, but it changes. You know, a lot of people don't think about like the angle that some of the motors sit into the chassis, and they don't even consider bringing the pivot blocks, forward on the bike to kind of create more distance on the rear cylinders there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of those things that like just go out of sight, out of mind. And then when you, like, if you're going to do that for somebody, like, well, I can do this, but it's going to add,
tons of
a couple
hours.
grand more on this. Like, well, I'm not that interested in it.
It's cool, but it's not that cool.
Yeah.
So
that's how a lot of that stuff ends up being. So, it is what it is. But I'm just stoked because, I mean, I think I was just really kind of, seeing you at the swap meet this year and then coming and hanging out with us and knowing all the hardships you had last year with your health. And then, and then with them asking me if I knew somebody or if I could help them out with like finding people, like I was like, fuck, dude. I mean, can you do it? I mean, do you have a bike in mind? Like, cause I think this will be the fucking perfect way to get you back into wanting to do this stuff.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
It did for sure. 100%. Like that was all, like I said before, I attribute that to the man upstairs. Like it just all lined up and at the time, I had so much going on and my wife's like, you sure? I was like, I think I can do it. She's like, all right. Like, cause even though I'm healthy, I'm back to about 100% now, I think. But, there for a while, I was still having a hard time moving around, couldn't pick anything up, still going through some struggles. And, fortunately, I was able to get back to the grind. But it definitely happened at a good time, like a perfect time for me to be like, okay, yeah, get back on the horse and see what you can do. So,
yeah, I mean,
and I'm not to prove anything to anybody other than me.
Yeah.
And I want my kids to, like, I've been working a lot, and so they're like, "Man, Dad, we don't see you very much." But I'm also want them to see, like, if you do decide to do something, you need to give it everything you can give it. You know, so I think they're watching. My 14-year-old, she don't give a shit. She's like, whatever. Motorcycles are stupid, but my oldest daughter, she's kind of been supportive of it. She thinks it's cool. So, and my youngest one will probably come around. She's just being 14. You don't like anything. Yeah. So, but I'm excited. Like I say, man, I'm thankful for the opportunity and just hope that I can get it done and that somebody likes it. So
yeah. So are you doing this all under the Whoville Speed and Custom?
Yeah, everything. So it's back alive. Like I closed it for a while and got rid of all my sales tax business type stuff, but then decided to reopen it back right around Daytona and just kind of, like I say, I want to start manufacturing some parts, working on a few things, working with a few people, I still go to metal fab schools occasionally. Like, there's a couple of schools I like to hit to hone in some metal shaping skills. I am going to go to a SolidWorks class.
To learn some SolidWorks.
Yeah. I'm going to start probably November. I'm going to start SolidWorks training, and I'm actually going to try to get certified in SolidWorks and be able to draw, model, and all that sort of stuff. And we'll see where that goes. I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but it's kind of one of those goals that I a goal that I set for myself. So I want to try to get it done.
Yeah.
I love billet stuff. I love sheet metal stuff. I love using them both. And so, and I want to be able to do, even if I never make a part by doing it, I set the goal. So I want to try to get through it, and do it. So,
well, that's a good skill to have. Like all of it, whether it is billet, sheet metal, tubing, all these things can come together in a harmonious way. And I think that as you add more tools to your toolbox, essentially, then it gives you the ability to think of how you can mesh and blend all these different styles of part making into one. You know what I mean?
Well, I've probably said it on the podcast before, but I was a fashion design major at Texas Tech, and an architect major at Texas Tech. I didn't finish. I got to partying too hard. But so now in the motorcycle industry, this is the combination of architecture and fashion design in a sense for me. You know, I get to create art, if you will, and my own style, and there's some architecture involved with it, like
there's math.
And like I remodeled a house right around COVID, and I got to put some architecture into that, but also incorporated, like, the inside of my house is full of steel beams that I welded up steel beams because I wanted to incorporate the sheet metal and the steel and that kind of an industrial sort of vibe. So like motorcycling and fashion, like people are always like custom, like, you know, the word custom. Like I try to I would almost consider it a custom lifestyle, like how I dress or how my motorcycle looks or how my truck looks, or like I don't like stock stuff, you know. And so going back to the SolidWorks part of it, like I've got some ideas. I want to make some furniture, like some custom furniture in like an industrial style. I know there's people that do it, but in my head, that's some stuff I want to do. And you know, I think having SolidWorks will help incorporate, you know, because you can do like AutoCAD architecture, and that's because I still love architecture and engineering and designing, and I'm not great at math, but I mean I can navigate myself through it. But motorcycling for me, like I say, it was just kind of I didn't become an architect, and I didn't become a fashion design. You know, I didn't create a clothing line, but motorcycling was kind of that combination of building something and creating art at the same time, I guess, if that makes any sense. Kind of a, you know, so sometimes I think I love this part of it as much as I love the writing part of it, you know. And at my age, I need to learn or refine that love for writing.
Yeah.
You know, I just think with my kids at the ages they were, I didn't ride for a while because I wanted to be there for them. And, you know, you always have that, well, something could happen. But then I almost died had nothing to do with motorcycles. So then I'm like, okay, let me back up and put that all into perspective. So, but.
Yeah, people like the riding aspect and being a part of the that area of motorcycling. I mean, almost every fabricator I know, someone that's like doing exactly what you're talking about. Like they do fall in love with this process more so than maybe more so than the riding, because they're spending so much time here, you know. But I mean, think about it. Once this is done, you pull off the lift, and now there's another one, and another Sturgis, another Daytona. Like you can easily find yourself in this like this.
I got enough projects to last me till the day they bury me.
Yeah,
I just don't have enough money.
Yeah,
I mean, there's frames laying around, and I got motors stacked up there, and car chassis, truck chassis. I mean, just.
I think that's kind of going back with what we were talking about, you know, a little bit alluding to before we got on the microphones, is just about like social media and content these days. Like there's you showing the world this bike through what you're building. And then if you show the world the life you're living, not on the bike, but with the bike, that creates a good example is like, that's all the information about the food. You look at the back, that's the nutrition. But the front, the logo, that's the vibe.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you're giving them all the nuts and bolts and dimensions and all the aesthetic that you're putting into it. But when you go out and ride it and you're getting shots and you're, you know, doing all those kind of things, whether it's just like, went to Sweetwater today and there's a fucking goddamn propeller going in the air. It's like, it's a shot, right? It's a photo. That's why it becomes more relatable to the everyday guy who's thinking about that motorcycle in the aspect of like using it versus like not everybody's got the eye for it sitting on the lift. And that's kind of with most of media kind of not really shining light on the things the way that Jesse James did with Motorcycle Mania and the Biker Build-Off stuff. If you think about all the car shows and shit they do now, it's mainly shenanigans. It's more on the lines of what American Chopper was or the Richard Rawling thing, where they seem to be more interested in fucking somebody over to get a cheaper deal on a car than showing the process of building a car and what goes into it. So that instant gratification gets even amplified more because now younger people watch that and they don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into building cool things. They just see that dude got that car for way less, and then a couple boxes show up and now it's done car, and now he's selling it for way more. So
yeah, see, and that's what I love to see, the process of how it all
Yeah.
happens. That's what I love to see, the process of what makes it happen. The final product is cool, but I'll like something more if I can see the process.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, Bitch and Rides, for example, like I watch that show because those fab guys are so
Yeah.
incredible, and people are like, oh, it's TV. I'm like, no. You go to SEMA and you look at those cars that they've built, and I don't know if there's a perfect car, but they're so fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you watch those guys do that work, and it's not just it's not just TV. I mean, that's real life. Those fabricators are fucking unreal. Like,
Yeah.
I like that show because I feel like I'm not saying there's not theatrics because it's TV, but the work those guys are doing is real work.
Yeah.
It's not bullshit work, and you don't have, like you say, the theatrics and then boom, the car's done, and you never get to see any of the stuff, in between. So
yeah, that's why I try to let people know. It's like, hey man, just like, if you go shoot some photos with your iPhone, it don't matter. Just try to get some good shots of it. Go, do a story. Oh, this was a bitch and ride today. Like, those kind of things connect people to the bike.
yeah, I need to learn how to do that. Like, I bought one of those little gimbal things or whatever it's called, Hohem Dills. It has AI that will follow me around the shop, and like, I set it up and did some videos, and I watched the video. I'm like, oh fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Don't put that on Facebook. Don't put that on Instagram. You look like an idiot, But then I think sometimes I find myself watching other people in their shop doing the same shit,
And you're not really concerned. You're not doing the same thing. Yeah.
well, and I'm like, well, that guy doesn't look like an idiot. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just think I look like an idiot. Maybe I really don't. So
Well, it's like they say, we're always self-conscious about things that most people don't ever pay attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tend to be more concerned about everything we do, and most people don't even they're not paying attention, right? But with that being said, you're still the one that has to sit there and edit it. And so you're seeing yourself say that word incorrectly 100 times, and you just got to live with it. You just got to accept the fact, I fucked that up. And if I take that out, it changes the entire, I can't not take it. I just got to be an idiot right now forever on YouTube or a podcast or whatever. And trust me, it's taken me a long time to get comfortable in those spaces too. And I'm still very uncomfortable. Like right now, when we get done with this and we're doing this little video to walk around, I'm not going to change who I am, but I'm going to have to speak in a different way. That way, when I go to edit it, I don't have to go, I'm not clipping. So we are going to,
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I keep fucking up things in between, right?
I wouldn't even know how to edit it. Like, I've tried to make videos and edit them, dude. I can't even do a good reel on Instagram. Like, I get it. So like, it'll have music will be overlaid, and it'll be, like, I don't even understand it. Like, and maybe it's my age and just not.
Well, there's an art to it that once you kind of know the process, then it kind of will, it does get easier.
Does it?
And it also like, it kind of like, it's like anything else. You just need that one good weld to be like, I want to keep doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and that's one thing. I mean, I can learn anything.
Exactly.
So I just need to sit down and dedicate. But I keep thinking in my head, I'm like, at 52, do I need to know how to make a reel? And then I'm like, well, fuck yeah, man, 52 is not dead. And so I start looking at, I think I went through this thing of getting older, like, well, you're getting older.
Well, I think that when we get older too,
don't worry about that stuff.
And depending on the circles that we're in, like if you're in a circles with lots of people that create content, photos, videos, then it becomes easier to be like, you know what, I want to give this a try. The same way if you're hanging out with a bunch of fucking fabricators and bike builders, I'm going to give that a try.
Right.
But the problem is sometimes when you are not in that circle and you want to go down that path, there might be a social aspect to a dynamic that you have that you might feel awkward. Like,
okay,
look at Cody, they're trying to be an influencer.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah,
I've heard like, hey, I think it'd be cool. I really do. I mean, like maybe I'm too old to be cool, but I don't feel like I'm too old to be cool.
If you do it in some of the outfits that you wear, that'd be sick.
No, that would be cool. Yeah, I kind of need to get back into that, man. I used to really love that shit. So now I just feel like I work, raise kids, but this, like I say, this is kind of relit my fire a little bit. So like I say,
Yeah.
I'm working on, it sounds cliche, but I'm working on a few parts, and I don't want to bring 100 parts to market. I would just love to bring, and I know on this particular bike, it's not really anything on this bike that I can bring to market just because everything is
So one-off, yeah.
so one-off. But, I think I've got another stock FXR chassis I want to do some stuff to. And, I think there should be some cool parts I could come to market with that. So we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna make a go of it and see what happens. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't if it's for more than anything other than just for the love of doing it, then I'm fine with that too. I mean, you know, like I don't know if I'm ready to jump back into motorcycling full time as a career, but I'm definitely ready to step up from where I have been, you know, because I took a break. So I'm kind of ready to get back into this. Has kind of put me back in that groove of, you know, maybe I could build a few more bikes and make some parts and, you know, kind of live that more of custom lifestyle that I like to live, and making things, creating with my hands. I mean, fucking hands are starting to hurt, and elbows hurt, knees hurt, hips hurt, but
you're gonna have to just be the cameraman. Tell everybody this is what I'm doing here. Well, actually, my apprentice is doing the work. But
if I could find an apprentice, I'd have one down here. But man, I'm literally on an island out here, in Abilene. I mean, I love Abilene, but man, trying to get anybody to do anything and help and teach, and like I've offered to teach kids welding for free, and you know, sheet metal, what I know about sheet metal, and I still have a lot to learn, man. There's a little school in Cedar Park that I used to go to, Hammer Fab, Levi Green. I don't know if you know Levi or not.
I've heard of Hammer Fab.
Hammer Fab, they build cars, and he's a sheet metal guru, man. I've been to his school a couple times and want to go back. But I mean, I've offered to teach just like kids that are in the high school here, or that don't want to go to college and want to do something different. Like I'll teach you how to weld, teach you how to, you know, TIG weld, whatever, teach you how to shape some sheet metal if you're interested in learning, and never get an offer to like come hang out and learn it and, you know, teach somebody something. So, but I would love to, I mean, I want to teach my kids how to weld and do some stuff, but they're not that interested in it.
Trust me, I got a 15-year-old son that I can't get him to want to care at all about any of this. And it sucks, but it's like at the same time, like I'm also trying to be a supportive dad of whatever he's into.
Yeah. Have to.
And, you know, like it would, trust me, it'd be sick to be able to just be like what, you know, my machinist just did, where he built the FXR for his son.
Yeah.
And they did it together, and they're going to ride to Sturgis next year together.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like,
bro, like that's like the, not to compare and be like, oh, I wish my son was like, yeah, of course I wish my son was more into this shit, but like, I still love my son.
Yeah, no, I get it. My oldest daughter, for the first time, like, I picked her up from school I bought a brand new Road Glide in 2017. Was that the fairing change? What was the fairing change from 13, 14? 15. Okay, so I bought a 17 Road Glide.
17 was the first year of the M8, I believe.
Okay, then I didn't buy a 17. It was the first year for the new fairing, so which would have been, she was in like the
15,
third or fourth grade. I literally lived a block from the school, so I pick her up on my Road Glide. She comes out, she's bawling, crying, like couldn't believe that I had the audacity to pick her up from school on a motorcycle. Just thought I ruined her entire social career, right? So take her home, never gets on a motorcycle again. I moved her to Lubbock a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, hey, next time I come home, I'd really like you to take me for a ride on your motorcycle. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I was like, I bought helmets for you and your sister, so I'll gladly take you for a ride. She's like, yeah. She's like, you know, I was embarrassed when you did it the first time, but she goes, I really think what you're doing is cool, so next time I come home, I want to go for a ride.
That's cool.
Like, it really made me feel good. Like, I was like, okay, cool. Like, maybe, you know, she sees how much work I put into trying to do this stuff. So I think maybe she's like appreciates a little more that she's
I think too,
older.
they start to realize like finding something you're passionate about is not as easy for everybody as it seems.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things if you look up on YouTube is like how to find your thing, what you're into, hobbies, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I mean,
really?
Yeah, it's a huge like world where, I mean, I think for guys, not as much. For women, it's a little bit more difficult.
Well, it's like my wife. Like my wife, like I always ask her, like, what because she didn't have a hobby. She loves to work. That's her thing. She wants to go to work, and she loves working, and she loves being a mom. But outside of that, like she's not like, doesn't want to be an interior designer, doesn't want to create, doesn't want to paint, she's just she's so happy to work and raise kids. That's what she loves, you know? And I know other people out there that they don't like their job, they don't like to work, they don't have a hobby, they don't like, and in my head, I'm like, can't imagine not having like a hobby or a side hustle, or like, I can't imagine not having this. Like my world, I don't know what my world would look like. I would be just at home drinking Coors Light or something. Maybe, I don't know what the fuck.
Watching Sports Center.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Like my social media, TV time, screen time. I mean, I go to work and then I come down here and work. So other than me posting a few little things on Instagram when I can, like, it's put me back, like, head down working. And, you know, I heard somebody say one time, like, if things get tough, put your head down and work.
Yeah.
If things get tougher, put your head down and work. If things are good, put your head down and work. Like, if you just go to work, it doesn't have to be physical work. It can be whatever, editing videos, doing your, like, just do what you, if you continue to work at something, what is it? You have to do 18 hours a month or 18 minutes a day or what? There's some random number. Like, if you do something every day you'll eventually become great at doing that. And I don't remember what the number is. I read it, but you know, so that's one of the things. Like, I've been down here not every day since I got invited, but man, I've been down here. Like, I got no heating and air conditioning. I got no restroom. You know, I got a fucking fridge now, so I can keep drinks cold without having to put bags of ice in it. But I mean, I've spent a lot of time down here. I thought, shit, I just need to put a cot down here and go to sleep. But summertime, it's too hot. So
there's definitely something to be said about that. And when it comes to like the people that are looking for like hobbies and stuff, it's just, I mean, I always say that I have to thank whatever circles that I got privy to when I was younger that opened my eyes to custom things. Like, it started in the car world, and then it morphed into the motorcycle world, and then that opened up tons and tons of doors and places that I could go explore, right? But for those that, like, you know, if you don't have that kind of thing, if you spend your whole life on a video game and all your friends are not around, who's to say you don't walk in your buddy's house and his older brother's out there skateboarding? You're like, man, I want to try that. Or his older brother's out there fucking welding up. They're doing some mini truck shit. And you're like, man, that's kind of fucking cool, man. Like, I want to check that out. Or in a band, like, the human interaction of shit is how we kind of get, like, we see it, or at least for me, the way I learn, the way I get inspired is to see it and feel like, man, I would like to try that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Once you try it, if you like it, then you just keep trying. I mean, I think that's what I still do. I just keep trying every day.
Yeah.
You know, I keep trying and I get a little bit better, and then I'll do something. And even with this bike, like, I'll do something and then I'm like, I can do better than that. So then I throw it away, or I cut it up, or I make a new one. Or, I mean, I did it with that fender. I've had that fender, like, I put longer sidewalls on it. Didn't like how it set, so cut it apart, redid the sidewalls. Then I figured out it needed to sit a little bit higher because of the compression of the shock, so I had to redo them. So, I mean, like I say, I got so many hours in that. Just that fender, I keep talking about it, but it's been kind of my nemesis. It's just trying to get it right. And I have that blessing and a curse to where if it's not right, you don't want to use it, but then you're going to spend so much time that you'll never get it done because somebody told me one time there's perfect and then there's perfectly acceptable. And you got to learn the difference, because if you're looking for perfect, you're just going to tread water. You're never going to get anywhere. So that's kind of what, trying to make it as perfect as possible. And, I think I got the rear fender dialed in minus the seat. I got to do the seat pan, but I think we're, I don't want to say we're on the home stretch, but we're getting close, man. Getting real close. So
well, it's going to be rad when it gets done. So
if I can get everything back I've got some parts and pieces all across the country. So I've got I need things to fall into place timing wise. Like, my goal was to have the bike done by September 20th. That was my goal. Yeah. That's not going to happen. So that's because the 20th is my birthday. That's when I wanted to have it done by. But so now we're shooting for like August 1st. I mean, October 1st, kind of in that time frame.
Yeah.
But it's going to depend on paint, and then I've got some drivetrain parts that are being machined. So waiting on those. So. But.
Well, Cody, it's gonna be rad, man. I'm super stoked for you. I'm glad that you leaned into the project, because, like I said, at the end of it, you're gonna have a sick ass bike that's gonna be another one of those, classic Cody Childress. You know what I mean?
I hope so. I appreciate the invite. I appreciate you driving out to Abilene to do this, and I love being on your show, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the support over years, man.
It's my, you know, I don't get a lot of fame, but this is my couple hours of fame every once in a while. So,
I mean, I've been wanting to come out here to Abilene more often. I mean, it's like a town that it's out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a bad way.
It's a cool little city. I mean, I can get everything I want, other than, you know, I don't have the restaurants. But if I want the big city life, I just shoot 2 hours in Fort Worth, Dallas, and then, you know, property's still pretty reasonable here. Rent's pretty reasonable here still. Like, just with this AI center coming up out here, man, things are fixing to be. They're going to be bananas here before too long. So, I mean,
my wife and I, we're always kind of like we're you know, very implanted into Dallas and stuff there. But every once in a while, man, I'm like, I would rather live somewhere cheap that I can enjoy the quality of life that I live than have to be somewhere where everything is and pay the premium for it. Because with more and more things like the way the world works now, as far as like most of our business is through the internet, not so much the sign out front and the cars passing by. Yeah. So and for nowadays, like if you want a cool custom paint job or a bike build, like this entire country's not that big to be like, I'm not going to take my bike across the country to have something done. You know, 20 years ago, fuck, nobody's doing that shit. No. But
now I'll get in my truck today and I'll drive 20 hours just to go get something done somewhere. You
remember the whole the flex used to be, I'm having someone from California paint my bike.
Oh, yeah. I remember people talking about it. I just never did it because I was like, I can't afford it. Like, I had a local painter that was pretty good here that was, I mean, for what I was doing. But the only two people that have ever painted anything for me outside of Abilene are you and Brad Barnes. Everything else I had painted local. Yeah. And me and that guy got cross-threaded, so we don't speak anymore. But he moved off. He's in Ohio or somewhere now. But
it was funny because whenever I started, you know, getting flown out to California to paint bikes like every month.
I remember you doing that.
I would be here and dudes would be like, yeah, I'm having my bike's getting painted in California. I'm like, there's a chance I'm painting your bike in California, dude. Like, I'm right here, man.
I was so weird that's the flex, but I mean,
it's not something I hear anymore. But back in the day, it seemed more like the flex, but it's also like when the internet when like Instagram and shit got bigger, like painters got to be a lot more popular, because if you were a painter, like on the old bike, like, you know, if you were John the Painter or fucking, Hot Dog or something like that back in the day, then you kind of already had a reputation in the motorcycle world. You were Dave Perowitz or something like that. But realistically, how the hell, like there's never been a whole lot of like promoting painters in the motorcycle industry until social media came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
a lot of shops didn't want to even tell anybody who painted the bike because they wanted to be able to sell that paint job to the customer, and they didn't want to go around them.
Right. No, it's still that way in some instances. People don't want to tell you where they're getting something done. I mean, just even some parts, like I had I saw some parts on a guy's bike. I was like, those are cool. Where'd you get those? He's like, yeah, just a guy I know made them. I'm like, you know, like, can I call the guy? He's like, you didn't really want to do anything for anybody else. So, I mean, I get it. It's just, I've seen it happen with paint, parts, all of it. So,
Meanwhile, the dude's like, hey man, if you do this for me, I'm gonna bring you 10 customers.
Yeah, fuck. I heard all that bullshit before. So,
all right, Cody, appreciate it. Yeah, let's do some other stuff now. Okay. So, all right, thank you for this, and I'm sure you guys will see this at Born Free Texas, all shiny and
say some prayers.
Starting.
So.
All right,
it's gonna be there, whether it's rolled up in primer. It's gonna be there. So.